So the hydraulic on and off button is here, and to let's see, to reset. Is that what it was when we went from here to here?
Data transfer, cancel reset, which will let the machine go to the home position.
All right.
Once you're at the home position, then you need to go to the screen for the back and set this to 0 with the gauge, and then clamp the saw.
Okay, I can do that. So next, I'll probably go here and make sure I had the width and everything to the saw and split it in half.
Correct.
Then I'd save and blah down there, and then I'd probably go.
Correct, as long as you have a white tooth.
Yeah. We've already done this saw, so we're just doing this for demonstration.
On this screen here in the pink, the first 3 numbers correspond to leveling. The number 0 is off, and 1 means it's turned on. So in the first box, there's a 1 entered here, which means it turns on leveling before it tensions. If you enter a 1 in the second box, it would be able to level and tension at the same time, but that's not a very good idea. The third box is for leveling after it's tensioned. So we'll level before, we won't do anything during, and it'll level after. The final box here means with a 1 in it, you've turned on the skipping function so that on the second leveling pass,
Around the automatic.
okay, so in this row, these are your daily operation. This is cancel reset. This is pause. At any given time, you can push pause and it will stop the saw in motion. It'll keep where it's at in the program cycle so that you don't have to start from the beginning. And this is automatic cycle. When you got everything set, you hit that and it'll go through whatever routine that you have. This is just your main fluorescent light on and off. This is hydraulics off, hydraulics on. This is end of cycle button. So if you put one on at the end of your shift and you want to go home, this you would turn this button on, and when it finishes, it will shut the hydraulics and the display off. This is double speed, so if you're in a manual function here running the tensioning rolls out or running the tension rolls back, it'll go at twice the speed, and that twice the speed function works on the leveling head running in and out or the measuring head running in and out. So these are just manual buttons to jog those in and out. This is your blade transport, make the blade go round and round. You're not going to use the reverse function because it'll run the saw off the rollers. You'll only use the transport the saw forward. This is pinch rolls in the back up, pinch rolls in the back down. These clamp the saw to the carbide. This is your pinch rolls extended out when you go into a tensioning mode, or if you're going into leveling mode, it brings the pinch rolls close together by the sensor head. The reason you'd use this is if you wanted to make a manual read of the tension, you would push this button to extend the rolls out, and then this button lifts the rolls up to check the tension. But that's a manual function. These 2 buttons engage the leveling heads so that you can set it for proper thickness of a saw. That's already set. Remember, these are a 4-step button. The first time you push it is an intermediate position. The second time you push it, engages it. And then the third goes to intermediate. And then the fourth, it releases.
And they also light up when they're being used.
Correct. They're lighting up when they're leveling above. So up here in this corner is the only ones we haven't covered. So if you wanted to put a manual tension roll in at a given point in the saw, say up on the screen here you needed more tension in the back, you could jog your tension head, your stretcher roll out to that position, and then you simply hit this button and it'll roll it all the way around with full pressure, okay? If you didn't want full pressure, then you use this button and it uses the sensor head and it will only roll tension in that spot where it needs it. Anything that's okay, it will avoid rolling it. This button will do one manual roll of the back to adjust the back length. Be cautious of this button because it will also remove tension if it works the saw very much. This button here is a measurement for tensioning head. So if you want to make a manual measurement of the tension, you just simply push that button once and it'll measure the saw in one spot. That leaves this button, which looks similar, but this button brings the measuring head out when you're in leveling mode so that you can zero the sensor on this side right here. So you push this button, it'll bring the measuring head out to the carbide, and then you adjust the black knob until that reads 0.
Green buttons.
Green buttons. This is the button you use the most. This is your list of programs. So when you're in the list of programs, it shows you whatever you programmed for your saws. Always the F function buttons are defined by the blue language above. So in this case, you would, if you come to your list of programs and you selected the program that's highlighted here for machining the saw, you would hit this. And that, once you hit F1, you must always follow with data transfer, cancel reset. And then that will load that program so that you're ready to function. The next button is if you wanted to write a brand new program from scratch, you would use the F2, and it brings up your options as far as writing new programs. You simply provide a name, what kind of work program it is, like a 107, and then you define the leveling passes and so on. Memory card button, you don't have a memory card because you have over 800 positions for programs. If you had a lot of programs in here, you could search for that program, and then there's a page plus button. There's literally, I think, 4 pages of programming. This is a nasty trick you can play on somebody. If you push this button, it looks like your main programs have been deleted, but if you look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you'll note it's on page 2. If I press it again, there's page 3, page 4, and again, page 1. Oh, there's my programs. So somebody may play that joke on you and you might panic that you've lost your programs.
Alright, so the program for resaw is 107.1. For the 1 stands for the resaw, the 107 is a maintenance. So for a head saw,
the 107 is fully automatic program. Resaws are a 1. So this is a fully automatic program for the 14-inch double cuts. 117 is a maintenance program for the resaws because it's a 1. 118, we're going to have to look at what 118 is because I don't think that we need those. I think we need the 119, which is a maintenance program for the 14-inch saws, and then 119 is a maintenance program for the narrower double cuts. So
okay, that's all of them.
yeah, except for we need automated programs for the double cuts. So we need to copy these and turn them into double cut programs for automatic. See what I mean?
Yep. And then we'll come back and shoot that when the time is right.
Yeah. Okay, so we just changed the name here from a 119.14 to a 109.14.
And this is going to be a program for the double cut.
For full automatic mode.
Yeah.
So the work program is no longer a 119 because it's not a maintenance program, it's a full automatic. And this is what you would use for wreck saws or badly hurt saws. So we change this to a 109, enter, and it changes it to a full automatic program. At that point we hit save. Then we can go into our list of programs, and then you'll notice it made a copy of the 119.14. It made a copy here, so now we can go in there and pull it up, and it's basically good to go because we'd copied the maintenance program. The 2 is the narrower double cuts. So we're going to call up the maintenance program. We're going to change the name to a 109, which is full automatic. 0.2, enter. And then we're going to change that to a 109, enter. And that changed it. And then hit F1 to save. And it should have made a copy of it, and it did. So now we go back down here, and we need to fix a couple of numbers here as long as we're in here. Okay, now we're going to hit save, and we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and sort the programs so they're in numerical order. We'll go here, sort, and then hit F1 to sort them. Now our programs ought to be in numerical order, and they are. So are we missing anything? We've got full automatic for resaws, full automatic for 14s, a full automatic for narrower double cuts. As far as maintenance programs, we have a maintenance program for resaws, 14s, so you're good to go.
Just run down through them again. I know single cut, sliverback, double cut. This stuff here though.
So all this is a symbol to let you know that if you select one of these numbers for the given saw, that it's going to go through all of these functions automatically. It's going to level, it's going to tension, it's going to adjust the back, or it's going to do the tension using the sensor and only roll it where it needs it, and then it's going to adjust the back. It does that all automatically without having to program anything in the expert program. This is the factory setting for full automation. It takes about 2 hours per saw. But if you have a real badly damaged saw, you're going to want to select one of these numbers here. Now remember, the little rounded logo tells you what this automated program is for. This is for very narrow bands. This is for wide bands with, or like resaws with no tire line. This is for tire line saws, and this is for extra wide saws here with no tire line. But full automation. This is for saw manufacturing. On this part, you won't use any of these programs down here, so forget that. Oh, I guess I have.
Just where you are and what's being used.
Oh, by golly, we just discovered the expert program where you enter in your own data, and it shows you what the numbers are. 117. 119 for expert program for saws with tire line. That's cool. That's under this F3 key when you're in the new program mode. So you'd go to new program, and then you would hit the F3 button, and it shows you where you would write the expert program.
And if you hit one of them, then, or you put that, how would you bring that up then?
So if I just
okay, right there. All right.
If I just named the program 1111, and then I hit enter, and then I selected, say, a expert program for single cut, I would type in 117, enter, and then it brings you up the screen where you enter in the data for that particular saw. But it also gives you page 2. Program 117 is the expert or custom maintenance programs, and this, you have to go to this page 2 button to access that and tell it where you want it to start, where you want it to stop, and what function, whether you want it to level or just roll tension.
And that's in the book.
That's in the book, and you have copies of that already that I have written for you. So let's take one quick look at one of those expert programs that are already in here. So this is a expert program for 14-inch wide double cuts. We're going to hit F1 machining, and then once you're under the program tab, this is important. The only way you can look at page 2 is when you're on the program tab. and you come over to page 2, and now this shows you how to write an expert program. What do these numbers mean? Well, they're defined in the book, but briefly, 921 measures tension and displays the tension on the screen. A 930 levels the saw. It levels the saw as you've told it to level on the initial page. In other words, it's going to do 2 passes and it's going to level it to 2.5 thousandths tolerances. Back to page 2. We leave a blank space sometimes so that we can add a function in there if we need it. So it'll just skip over that as it goes. And then on this particular maintenance program, we're having it check the tension all the way across the saw. And every third or fourth one, we're having it give us a measurement on the screen so that if we're watching, we can see if it's making progress on the saw. Then it goes back to rolling tension and then gives you another snapshot of what it looks like. So all the way down here, it's checking the tension in maintenance mode.
Seems like a lot of passes.
It seems like a lot of passes, but it actually will just add tension if it needs it. If it's over tensioned, however, it will not remove the over tension. If you're in the full automatic program, which would be a 109, it will also remove extra tension. This is just to maintain the tension. If it comes back in and it's good and level, but the tension's pulled out a little bit, this will put it back in, and then it'll level at the bottom here, it'll level it, and then generally it's ready to go to the grinders. So this takes about 30 to 40 minutes to process a saw in daily maintenance mode. If you're in a 109 program for that same saw, that's full automatic. It's going to go through and do every function that it needs to. It's going to check back, tension, levelness, and it's going to keep working it until that saw is perfect. This program, a 109, the full automatic, takes about 2 to 2.5 hours per saw.
So the 119 was what? Or go back to the programs.
Yep.
Is that what it was, 19? So the everyday use ones for double cut, normal double cuts and normal resaws are
always going to be a teen number.
okay. There we go.
So the teen numbers, the 117, 119.
Send me in the right direction, and I'll get it.
Yeah. And this will be your daily maintenance programs.
Yeah.
If like yesterday we had the saw that we cut the teeth off of. Well, that needed more than just maintenance. That needed to be rebuilt because the back was messed up. Mm-hmm. Then on that particular saw, you selected a 107 because it's going to go through every nook and cranny of the saw and make it right. If that would have been a double cut saw that needed everything done to it because they wrecked it, you would select a 109 and it'll go through every nook and cranny of the saw to try to make it right.
I'm gonna need a cheat sheet, but yeah.
Yep, you're fine.